To all of our local, regional and international viewers, thank you kindly for choosing us here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. My dear friends, a very warm welcome to another edition of the program, Conversations with Zelisa, where we continue to inform, educate, empower and answer those unanswered questions. I am Zelisa Raghunanan, humbly inviting you to sit back, relax, enjoy, get your pen, get your notebook so you could take notes and important numbers that will be helpful for you and your loved ones. Directing this morning and in Master Control, he's also the senior producer here at Real TV, Mr. Robert Batiste. On behalf of the team, I'd like to wish each and every one of you a fantastic day today. Happy Friday. It's Friday the 13th of March 2026. My friends, it is a day and time we will never have the opportunity to ever have again in life. Don't procrastinate, don't waste your time. Do something productive and constructive, all right? And if you're celebrating a birthday, happy birthday. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you and yours. That's someone special. Now, don't take your loved ones for granted because tomorrow is not promised. Mr. Director, let's go to our quote for today, coming to us with the kind compliments of Fab in the Expo. And our quote says, "When you are evolving to a higher self, the road seems lonely, but you're simply shedding the energies that no longer match the frequency of your destiny." Oh, this is beautiful, Robert. I'm going to repeat it because sometimes when we are growing, when we are at a place where we are on the road to success, sometimes you feel alone and you feel disenchanted or you're hit by a storm. But I want you to remember that when you are evolving to a higher self, the road seems to be lonely, but you're simply shedding the energies that no longer match the frequency of your destiny. You're growing. Let it be. And I always say to you, out with the old and in with the new. That's the attitude, yeah? Thank you so much for that, Robert. Let's go to the ad, please. Fab India Expo. Remember to check them out today.
Fab India Expo would like to wish all our valued customers a blessed Ramadan 2026. We are now open with a complete change of stock located opposite Medford gas station, Shaguanas, featuring brand new styles and the latest products straight out of India. Shop from a wide variety of clothing, accessories and special booths catering for all your e-shopping needs. Plus, don't miss out on our full-size Indian food court with delicious meals and treats for everyone. Come visit us at the Fab India Expo, conveniently located opposite the Medford gas station in Shaguanas. Fab India Expo, your one-stop destination for Ramadan and e-shopping. We can't wait to see you.
To all of our local, regional, international viewers, thank you kindly for choosing us here at Real TV, where we bring reality to you. To those of you on Tego, the app, remember to download it on your device. Take Real TV with you real time, anytime, so you could be part of our dynamic programming. And those of you on the Caribbean Showtime television in Canada, I think you're going to be very pleased today because we're talking to a daughter of not just Trinidad and Tobago, but Canada as well. Certainly made her name. And let's say a very good morning and a warm welcome going out to Dr. Lutchmi Raghunanan. Doctor is a woman's health innovative specialist, and she is, I'm proud to say, a true daughter of the soil of Trinidad and Tobago, certainly making us extremely proud, taking us to international standards, yes? Doc, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Zelisa. Thank you so much for that very kind introduction.
But it's the truth. We're always proud when we have, you know, our sons and daughters from Trinidad who go to foreign land and make us proud, shine, you know, take the flag, and we're proud to say that you're from Trinidad and Tobago, doing extremely well. You left Trinidad and Tobago about 15 years ago, went to...
That's correct. I left and went to Peterborough in Canada, where I did my PhD in material science.
Why did you choose that? People would say, well, material science, what is it? Why did you choose that?
I chose it. It's an applied science. My background is chemistry, and before that I had tried the pure sciences, but it wasn't for me. And knew I always loved research, but I wanted to make an impact with my research. And so when I met this professor at Trent University, his work really spoke to me.
Yeah.
You make something that doesn't just stay in a lab, but take it and the potential to see how it works in real life and commercialize. That really
Allow it to take birth and make a difference. Huh?
Yes.
And I'm sure it's seeing that materialize in itself is a reward for you. It's worth it. Yeah. You're here in Trinidad and Tobago, and then you started practicing there. You are here now, getting the best of everything, I guess. Coming home is always a reward, right?
So it
but
is.
you're also here on work as well.
That's correct.
Talk
Yeah.
to us a little bit about, why you're here. Why, apart from meeting all the wonderful people in your life and enjoying the nice home cooked food, talk to us a little bit about your work.
So as part of my journey, once I completed my PhD in Canada, and I worked for several years, I found myself in 2024 founding my own company. So I'm the founder and CEO of a biomedical startup based in Toronto. And we're developing needle-free technologies for drug delivery, eliminating the burden of daily injections. That why comes from our own experience, and we can speak more to that later on. But we're building this technology. We're, a medical device startup, so we're early stage and the pre-seed stage. And we've got this grant from Canada that allows us to explore international opportunities for R&D collaborations to bring Canadian innovation globally. And as part of this, I thought it would be so perfect to be able to come back home to Trinidad and find ways that I can bring Canada to Trinidad.
Beautiful. I think we all could safely say we either know a friend or family living in Canada, and we've quite recently, I interviewed the Canadian High Commissioner here in Trinidad and Tobago, and such a warm person, and I think they are also working towards that cohesiveness and gelling and that relationship with Canada and Trinidad and Tobago to make it even richer, When you talk about needle-free, let me tell you, I could count on my 10 fingers right now 10 people that I know personally afraid of needles, and I'm talking about big men.
Yes.
Big men, if they hear anything to do with needles, no, forget it, that's it. I've seen reactions with big men, how they behave with needles, right? And so when you talk about being innovative and bringing the future here now with regards to needle-free, I mean, that's splendid, Part of the research is doing that and bringing that to Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
I mean, we are at the point where you have to stick, a diabetic will have to stick themselves how many times a day. That's quite uncomfortable. I mean, there are other means, but to bring a needle-free or some sort of being innovative that they do not have to stick themselves, and that take away that pain, especially the elderly. And now we have so many children that are affected with diabetes as well.
Yeah.
So it's point on when you think of doing that in Trinidad and Tobago.
Exactly. And so our journey to this, a lot of times innovation takes root from your own lived experiences.
Right.
And that's what happened with us. My husband and I, we went for fertility treatments. And it wasn't until we started the procedure that we realized just how invasive it was. So, I say 20 injections self-administered in 13 days. And so this isn't something like going to the hospital and doing so and looking away. Most of us do that. And we can do that just fine and grit through that pain.
Yeah.
But when you have this same needle that you have to now give yourself, that takes a whole different dynamic. You're standing there and looking, building up the courage to stick yourself with that needle. And I sort of understood then what, diabetes is what everyone comes to mind, right?
Yeah.
And there's so many other indications out there, so many other chronic illnesses where we have to self-inject our medication.
You're absolutely correct. The first thing that we think of is diabetes, like I did. But insulin, you have to inject yourself.
Yeah.
Like you say, you go for that treatment, and there are other treatments as well.
Exactly,
You're
yeah.
absolutely correct when it comes to different health concerns and issues that we are facing, and we're constantly bombarded with. And then, yeah, you have to do it yourself. It's not like you go to the hospital or to your doctor's office, but there are certain medications that you have to inject yourself, and it's not nice.
And so I can elaborate more there. So now this is where I saw this pain and said, you know what, I can solve this. Of course, first I went through the journey of complaining about it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know yes, better exists. And again, it's mostly the theme of every innovation. You know better exists. And then I put myself out there and I said, I want to solve this. I know I can solve this because I've now spent my entire career studying and working in the areas that built up the expertise that allowed me to now solve this problem.
And you know, you, in the sense that you've been there, done that, first-hand experience, and that's, you understand not just the pain, but the experience may not be a pleasing one.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, for your goal at the end, it's difficult. And so with that, that's where that thought gave birth, I would say, when you had that personal experience.
Exactly, it brings a different kind of motivation.
Yeah. Good.
Because starting a company, being a founder and CEO, all of these things are hard because now I'm doing things that I didn't study for, that I didn't intend to be doing, right? I'm a scientist, and now I'm building a company and trying to raise money and doing everything else out there in addition to building this product. And so we say that the highs are high and the lows are low when you're building like this. So having a personal journey, a personal pain point makes it so much easier to get up and keep going every day.
Yeah, it motivates you because you know you are reminded, despite the challenges that we face or the storms that we didn't expect to anticipate, it becomes easier knowing why you're doing this and what your end goal is. So you know that you're there, but you can't give up because you've started something that is dynamic. All right, this is the program Conversations with Zelisa, where we continue to inform, educate, empower, and answer those unanswered questions. Today, I'm in conversation with Dr. Lutchmi Raghunanan, and she is a women's health innovative specialist. She's a scientist from Trinidad and Tobago, now living in Canada and doing her research and work, being very innovative, thinking outside of the box, not setting any limitations whatsoever. Let's go to these important messages. When we return, we continue our conversation. Stay with us.
Macon Construction Company Limited. Save big whilst building stronger. We build with our Macon innovative building systems, which provides high wind speed, earthquake, sea blast and fire resistance. Is thermally and acoustically insulated. Provides improved construction timelines and cost savings. We provide construction services from design to finish and everything in between. Macon Construction Company Limited. Building green today with tomorrow's technology. Contact or visit us today.
Are you looking for the right space for your business? Fred's Plaza has the space you need. We offer professional rental spaces designed for growing businesses. Conveniently located in San Juan on the Eastern Main Road, opposite the PTSC terminal and between Royal Castle and Mario's. Easy access, high visibility. For inquiries, call or WhatsApp 868-384-7142 today, or visit Level 3 Fred's Plaza for details.
Ready to take your sales career to the next level? If you have a passion for connecting with clients, building meaningful relationships, and delivering results, we want you on our team. Join a dynamic, motivated environment where your experience matters, your ideas are valued, and your drive defines your success. Step into a role with real opportunity. Join the sales team at Real TV, where your future begins.
Call us today at 292-6470 or WhatsApp us at 384-7142. You can also send an email to realtv.corporate@gmail.com.
Hi, I'm Naka, introducing to you Bridging the Gap, where we touch on current affairs and social issues every Monday to Thursday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., right here on Real TV.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you, to all of our local, regional, international viewers. Thank you so much for choosing us. You know, we continue to reach out and transform lives. How do we do that? I always say knowledge is power by sharing the right information with you, and our guests are certainly strengths in their fields. You know, they've got that knowledge and experience, and combined, it's a great teacher. Speaking of teachers, you saw the last promo there. Naka is back, and she's back with her force. She will be rejoining us on Monday with a little time change. She'll be joining us from 4 to 6, Mondays to Thursdays. So look forward to that. I'm excited, and you know, she is a force to be reckoned with by herself. So she's back with us, restarting next Monday, and Mondays to Thursdays from 4 to 6 p.m. right here on Real TV, all right? So great programming continues. Speaking of great and programming, I am in conversation with Dr. Lutchmi Raghunanan. She's a scientist, Trinidadian born, living in Canada for the past 15 years, and you know, when it comes to women's health, she is a women's health innovative specialist, all right? So she specializes in what she does, especially when it comes to women's health, being very innovative and thinking outside of the box. Now, today we are actually talking about a needle-free future for drug delivery. Can you imagine needle-free? From a baby, when, you know, I remember when my baby had to get her shots at a baby. She got her shot, she cried, I cried, my husband cried. You know, and it's just because of that scream, that intense scream, even when she had to pierce her ear. I remember how my husband behaved. He put down her crying because you know, things like that. Pain, needle-free. When are we ever going to? And I think this is brilliant. You know?
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about your project.
So I brought some show and tell, actually. So when we think microneedles, that's the basis of our technology. And so these are 2 millimeter microneedle devices, similar to those patches that you put on for facials, acne patches. Those are microneedles also.
Nice.
But they don't do drug delivery. They're simply patches that do their mechanism of action. So my idea was to take those same microneedles, and now we do drug delivery with them. So we put the drugs into them, and then it's as simple as putting on a patch that would allow your medication to be delivered with over time, right? This eliminates the need for daily injections if you have to take repeated injections, if you don't like needles and all of those trauma and burden.
Especially daily, as you said. You have to take how many in one day?
Exactly.
I mean, that's...
And I was pretty lucky. Mine was only 1 injection. I know of women who say they have to take up to 5 needles a day.
Yeah. Well, we can go back and use the diabetic, which is, diabetes is very common in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
And it's not just with the elderly, it's happening with every age group, from little children to teenagers to young adults to adults, right? And the elderly. The point is, especially for those that are on insulin, so it's sticking yourself with insulin 2 or 3 times a day.
Then measure it.
Exactly. It's also sticking to get the reading how many times a day. So it can be painful and inconvenient and costly as well.
Yeah. And so I said, imagine if it wouldn't. And
Let's
now
think of a world
build that.
without needles.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so this is an example here of my technology. It's going to be as simple, this is what it's going to look like at the end. As simple as putting your medication in single-handedly and you inject. It resembles everything that we're currently doing, but it's easier to use.
I?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then you see those are the needles there. Micro.
So there's no pain.
Exactly. The goal being those are so small and sharp. They're sharp enough that they penetrate the skin.
Nice.
But they're so small that they don't reach the nerve endings. And so we don't get the pain associated with the traditional injection. And then for those who experience needle trauma or needle phobia, you know, you don't see the needles at all. So that addresses your phobia.
So the needles are there. The needles are there, but pain-free.
Yeah.
Pain-free. Nice. Very innovative.
Micro.
Good. So that's one aspect.
Yeah, and so this allows us to use any drug that's approved can be used in this device, and this is what we're building. Our goal is to bring this to market within 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Mass production, I would imagine.
Yep, and well, that includes, so in Canada and in the US, it includes FDA clearance and Health
Nice.
Canada approval.
Okay, great.
And we're here in Trinidad learning and understanding what's required to bring a product like this to market here also.
You've been here doing some research as well. What is the feedback you've been receiving thus far?
Again, everyone you speak to who shares their needle phobia, people love this. They say they would readily choose this.
Yeah.
So again,
When we look at cost, what sort of costing? Is there a difference in the costing? Is there an increase or a decrease?
this product is going to be similarly priced to your current injections.
Excellent. That's excellent. I guess you need to speak to the government because, no, the fact is a lot of people are also, they get a lot of help from the CDAP and they get, you know, their needles and their, so that's something I'm sure you could just, you know, have a meeting with the Minister of Health and negotiate so that we have a needle, you know, and pain-free experience when it comes to. I see you have some other.
Yeah, so these are what the prototypes look like in development. So when it's finished, it's going to resemble this.
Okay,
but the active part you saw was the actual needles at the bottom here.
Nice. And the medication goes in that little tube.
And so while we're testing, we've taken now the active part there, those needles, and we've put them into something like this. So this is actually what the core of the device looks like.
Interesting.
And to demonstrate for you, then that becomes, it's easily attached onto.
Oh yes, I can see them here now.
Yeah.
Good. There you go.
It's easily attached now onto the injection,
Right.
the syringe, and then again as simple as.
And pain-free.
Yeah, so these will penetrate.
So the needles are there, but it's just pain-free.
And they don't reach, because they don't reach all the way down.
Yeah. No blood whatsoever exposed.
No blood.
I think that's good. And there's a minor puncture, I would imagine, on the skin.
Which self-heals.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's awesome. Anything else that you've worked on?
No, so the other one is another version of the same thing. And so all, microneedle based. And so this is the first product that we plan to bring to market in 2 years. Now the end goal is this patch that I spoke about that you can just stick on.
Yeah.
In Canada, though, that's considered a drug product. And in the US, also a very long regulatory pathway.
Yeah.
So we are building towards those. But it's going to take longer, and we wanted to get something to market now for every user who's ever told me, I wish I had this yesterday.
Yeah, I know. It's like, okay, this is ideal. I'm thinking of so many situations, especially with children as well. And, this is really a good solution, a good alternative.
Yeah.
And if you are talking to us about perhaps the same price, then that is amazing. I'm sure this will be the choice, you know. In terms of alternative, it is the ultimate choice, I would say.
Yeah. Eventually, when patch comes to market, so how this is different is we get to take any injectable and use it with these products.
Right.
Patch is going to be very singular use. And so our first case when it comes to patch will be starting with fertility. So we'll take those same fertility medications that I had to inject and we'll put them into patch. And that's where my materials background comes in useful, with some chemistry and some engineering. And so now you have a patch with the drug molecules loaded inside of it, so that when you stick that patch on, think nicotine patches or contraceptive patches, similar to those patches, how the products get into your skin. Difference being with those patches, they pass through the skin layer. With our patch, those patches won't work with every single type of drug molecule.
Right.
Large complex molecules like fertility hormones and typically insulin won't penetrate through the skin by absorption. And so that's why we need to break the skin, typically with injections. But now with our microneedles, with no injections, you can simply stick it on. It's gentle enough that it breaks the skin, but doesn't cause pain.
That's brilliant. Pain-free. We
Yep.
all welcome that. Anything pain-free. Yeah. In terms of your research, you must, it takes money and time. How is it funded?
So far, we've been self-funded along with Canada is great for R&D grants. So we've leveraged so far $600,000 in total non-dilutive funding, 600,000 Canadian. That includes founders' money, loans. I say we're mortgaged up to our eyeballs in debt, but it's founders' life. And we have a lot of that also is grants, government grants. And we're now currently raising our first equity while we're in the midst of it, where we give up a share of the company for investment raised, so publicly fundraising. And so far in that area, we've raised 100,000 that under equity, and we're now looking for another 500,000.
How do you plan to raise? I mean, 500,000 Canadian dollars is almost 3-point-something million or 3 million TT. That's a lot of money to raise.
Yeah.
What are your plans in terms of raising that money?
So we're raising in Canada and internationally also. By internationally, so this 500,000 is, I think, mostly Canadian money. There is interest. There has been interest from Trinidad, but getting money out of Trinidad has been everybody's
Problem.
Everybody's
Exchange,
problem.
yes.
And so we haven't been able to leverage the Trinidad. On my cap table, I don't have any Trinidadian investors. Sorry.
That's all right.
Because of the inability to get money out of Trinidad.
Yeah. How unfortunate. Just one of the many scenarios and problems that we are facing as citizens. I know of people whose children are abroad and they've got to pay university fees and rental and maintenance. And it's really very difficult to locate the money to do it, And many other, the people that try to assist and help, it's really hard. But I'm sure you being the person that you are, I see that, you're very motivated. You know what you're about. You're a woman of substance when you talk about, I like the fact that, whatever you want, you're going to go towards it despite the challenges or the hurdles that you may feel or the storm you may find yourself in. You're never going to allow that to get the better of you, but you're moving forward full force. And I admire you for that.
Thank you.
Yes, your name will go down in history. This is a program, Conversations with Zelisa, right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. Today I'm in conversation with Dr. Lutchmi Raghunanan. She's a scientist, Trinidadian, born and raised here in Trinidad and Tobago for the past 15 years, living in Canada, and started her work there. Being very innovative, thinking outside of the box, not setting any limitations whatsoever. What an inspiration she is. Let's go to these important messages. When we return, we continue our conversation. Stay with us.
Need a space to record your podcast, interview, or video content? Our fully equipped studio is available for rental. Perfect for productions of all kinds. Enjoy a professional studio setting, quality lighting, and a comfortable environment designed for smooth, high-quality productions. Call or WhatsApp today to book your studio time.
Ladies and gentlemen, young people, senior citizens, it is my pleasure and privilege to invite you to look at the program Inspire on Real TV at 2 p.m. every Wednesday afternoon. Inspire is designed to lift your spirits, to help you overcome depression and failure so you could be an outstanding, extraordinary success. We have special experts every Wednesday who will inspire you to do better, to be your best self. So may God bless you. And remember, every Wednesday at 2 p.m., please look out for the program Inspire.
Are you ready to kickstart your career? It's time to be your own boss. Present your own ideas, control your own narrative. Allow yourself to be seen. Allow your voice to be heard. Host your show with us at Real TV. Call us today at 292-6470 or WhatsApp us at 384-7142. You can also send an email to realtv.corporate@gmail.com.
Hi, I'm Naka, introducing to you Bridging the Gap, where we touch on current affairs and social issues every Monday to Thursday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., right here on Real TV.
Welcome back to Conversations with Zelisa right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you, to all of our local, regional, international viewers, those of you on the Caribbean Showtime television in Canada, and of course those of you on Tego, the app. Thanks a lot for allowing us to be part of your moments, your day, where we continue to reach out, transform lives. How do we do that? Sharing knowledge. Knowledge is power. When we have greater knowledge, we make better choices, and when we make better choices, we have better tomorrows. I'm in conversation with Dr. Lutchmi Raghunanan. She's a scientist living in Canada for the past 15 years, being very innovative when it comes to a needle-free future. I mean, every time I say it and I think about it, I can't help but feel proud or feel, wow, this is amazing, this is good. This is the future that's right now. But it's taking you, as you say, to be on the market about 2 years. So you still have about 2 years of work and things to put in place. Apart from finances, Doc, what do you think would be your greatest challenge at this time?
So when we say 2 years to get to market, that's largely driven by regulatory. We can't sell in Canada without getting the Health Canada approval, or in the US without the Class 2 clearance. And so that's the barrier. We must get this clearance. And everything that we're doing along the way, the development, product development, manufacturing, trials, clinical studies, validation, everything is for that approval.
Nice. And so that in itself is a hurdle that you've got to pass.
Yeah.
How does it look? How I mean, being on perhaps the doorstep, knocking on the doors, how does it look?
So normally for medical devices, to say we've only started 2 years ago, and to say that we can bring a product to market within 2 years is very, very ambitious. But I'm confident that we can do it, because we've got, I'm not doing this for the first time. I've worked in startups before. I know what has to be done. We've got the roadmap built. It's clear. The vision is clear. We're executing.
You have the experience, and experience is a great teacher. I've always said that. Hands-on, understanding that hands-on is a great teacher. So I think you have a lot of things going for you in that regard. Perhaps you will look now not just at Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, well, this is your motherland. This is your home, your birthplace. However, we have the islands.
Exactly.
We've got South America. We've got, the continents. You've got Europe. There's so much to explore and to do. I could really see a lot of work. Now is the foundation and the hard work that you're putting into place. But once everything has been approved, as you say, then the sky's the limit.
Exactly. And that's why we're here to learn what it takes to get into a market like this one. And once we understand Trinidad, we'll expand that to the broader Caribbean, LATAM, globally. We understand that it's not the same to get into every market. So regulation is the first barrier that we're looking at. Distribution would be another. And so these are conversations that's all happening now simultaneously in parallel, so that we know all the pieces, that when it's time to go, everything falls into place.
I want to talk a little bit about side effects. That's important.
Yeah.
Any side effects whatsoever?
This is I've been very selective about how we build this. Because this is a medical device, there's no chemicals. Meaning
chemicals
it's still plastic, it still has to be made from something,
right,
so
good.
it's chemicals. But we've been careful about selecting only materials that's already approved by FDA.
Excellent.
Right, so their materials are known to be chemically safe already.
Already
Inert
familiar. Good.
inert for administration that can penetrate the body and not leave anything unwanted behind.
Great. So no side effects.
No side
I
effects.
think this is a win-win. The more and more we talk about it and think about it, there's so much the plus signs that I see,
Yeah.
the pluses that will work for us. So apart from the finances and getting the approvals, anything else that could at this time be challenging?
So what we're doing now also would be clinical validation. We say any injectables could in theory be used with these devices. But but these devices, ours, they're going just below the skin. So this is considered a new route of administration for many drugs. And we have to prove that it's safe, and we'll do this through clinical studies, that a drug that's never been delivered right under the skin would function the same way as one that's delivered into your muscle or into the subcutaneous. And that's what we're proving out with clinical partnerships. And so this is where we partner with universities, with hospitals, clinical associations to run educational and investigational trials with our devices.
When you talk about investigational trials, or could you elaborate on that?
It's a matter of, I'd bring a couple of these devices to a doctor who's administering medication. And let's say it's a dentist, they can do lidocaine, which typically, I bring this example up because we've already started exploring this option as alternatives. Not every injection, so when you go to the dentist, not every injection needs to be given with this long needle because they need just spot numbing. And our microneedle, which is 2 millimeters, is just perfect for spot numbing to get into your soft tissue there. And so say I bring this to, a dentist, and we formalize a study plan where they get their patients to agree to this for compensation. And then we document every part of the process.
This is a program, Conversations with Zelisa, right here on Real TV, where we bring reality to you. Should we take a short break, Mr. Director? Thank you. Due to these important messages, stay with us.
When security matters most, choose Catch Security Services Limited. We are proudly approved by the Ministry of Homeland Security. We protect your home, business, community, and much more. Our services include professional baton and armed officers, specialized K-9 units, mobile patrols, secure cash pickups, secure transport, and pepper spray applications and supply coming soon. Don't wait. Secure your assets now. Contact Catch Security today. Call 622-6601. Email info@cssl-tt.com or visit our office at 30-32 Saddle Road, Maraval.
Need a space to record your podcast, interview, or video content? Our fully equipped studio is available for rental, perfect for productions of all kinds. Enjoy a professional studio setting, quality lighting, and a comfortable environment designed for smooth, high-quality productions. Call or WhatsApp today to book your studio time.
Fab India Expo would like to wish all our valued customers a blessed Ramadan 2026. We are pleased to announce that the Fab India Expo will be reopening on Friday, February 27th, located opposite Medford Gas Station, Chaguanas, with a complete change of stock. Explore brand new styles and the latest products coming directly out of India. We will also have special booths catering for each shopping, plus a full-size Indian food court with something for everyone. Visit us at the Fab India Expo, located opposite Medford Gas Station, Chaguanas. Opening on Friday, February 27th. Fab India Expo, your one-stop destination for Ramadan and Eid shopping. We can't wait to see you.
Hi, I'm Naka, introducing to you Bridging the Gap, where we touch on current affairs and social issues every Monday to Thursday, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. right here on Real TV.
To all of our local, regional and international viewers, thank you kindly for choosing us here at Real TV, where we bring reality to you. Today I am in conversation with Dr. Lutchmi Raghunanan. She's a scientist, a daughter of the soil of Trinidad and Tobago, now living in Canada for the past 15 years. And she is talking to us today about a needle-free future for drug delivery. How amazing. Needle-free, no needles. So when you think of the baby screaming or the kid screaming or the elderly, you know, we take all that away. It's needle-free, pain-free, I should say. Yeah?
Yes, thank you, Zelisa. So where we left off, we were chatting about clinical trials and clinical studies. So these are basically experiments with people. And we try to be as non-invasive as we can. We already spoke to these devices are chemically safe and they're safe. And when we put these studies now, we want to make sure that the drug, if we're changing the route of administration, that it works the same way. And so one easy thing that I'm planning, designing around is, for example, vitamin B shots. That's relatively non-invasive, so we can administer something like vitamin B or salicylic acid or any other medication that we can track and compare it. How does it perform when administered with our device versus how does it perform when administered with a regular needle?
Nice. I like that you've mentioned vitamin B shots, because those are shots that you don't need to go to the doctor. You could go to the pharmacy, and the pharmacist can, assist in that way. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah. And so if we have enough data that validates and supports that it's safe, the drugs perform the same way, then we take this evidence, and so we have to perform it in a scientifically rigorous way that an agency like FDA would accept, and then we take this to FDA and say, here's our study, they work with these drugs, and it supports getting approval.
What other information you think is really relevant and important for our viewers, that they understand of the dynamics of what you're doing?
So, well, I said the future of drug delivery is needle-free. And there's so many routes of administration that you can take your medication. It's really making sure I don't think Trinidad is a risk of this nation. I think we're open to try new things.
I think we are.
And so on that note, where I say we have to prove that it works before we put it into the hands of users. So not everything is, oh, let's try and see how this goes. Safety first still.
Safety first, I like that. And I also know that you're very, when it comes to approvals, you're very strict on that. So that's something that I know that you're working on side by side as well, putting everything into making sure that it's approved and it's certified and it's been tested and it's ready.
Definitely. We definitely want you to know, this is going to be in market in North America within the 2 years. Based on the regulatory that's required from Trinidad, maybe less. We'll see when we have that conversation with the minister. But definitely we want you going to your pharmacies, going to your doctors and your clinics, asking for the needle-free alternative.
That's in the next 2 years, however, we see that happening.
Yeah.
Great. What would you like to say to Trinidad and Tobago and the world by large?
We have had a pleasure, have been so successful building in Canada. I'm so proud of being Trinidadian, how much that has helped with my success in Canada. Our culturally, mentally, we put in the hours and do the hard work. That's not a culture that comes easily to a lot.
That's very true.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of energy, it takes a lot of time, a lot of investment, not just with money, but of your time as well, your time and energy. And you're absolutely correct. The Trinidadian culture, as opposed to the culture when you go there, it's a different, I'm not knocking because I am Trinidadian and Tobagoan, but the truth is the culture here is a little more laid back, not as aggressive with some people. Whereas when you're there, you have to be as aggressive as possible to make things happen, work even harder. Everybody think, well, the grass is greener when you grow aboard. And it's only when you're there you realize it's not as green as you think. Or it's not as great as everybody paint the picture to be. You really have to make a lot of sacrifices. Sometimes, work 2 and 3 jobs in order to pay your bills and to survive. And that's the fact. It has not been easy. But it's always a proud feeling, I think, I'm sure for your family and friends and even within yourself to know that you made the sacrifice and it's a breakthrough as a scientist. It's being very innovative and thinking outside of the box and a very futuristic thinking.
Thank you. Yeah, I pitch a lot in Canada, the phase that we're at, a lot of startup events. And I do hear from the audience, sometimes I meet fellow Trinidadians and Caribbean folks who say they're so proud to look up there and see one of themselves up there.
Of course, and a woman.
Yeah.
I do know that your husband has been with you hand in hand every step of the way. Perhaps being the wind beneath your wings, the shoulders that you lean on, and that's extremely important. To give up his passion or his job to follow your dream, I think that's remarkable and that's a blessing.
It is. That I appreciate every day.
Yeah, to have that person at your side, helping fill the gaps and helping to push you when you need that, understanding you best.
Yes.
And to be there to give not just the support, but to fight the fight with you as well, which is extremely important. So that in itself is a blessing, to have that. What do you say to young people like yourself? You studied very hard, made very sacrifices, and you set a goal or you have this dream and you want to see this dream blossom and become a reality, and they're struggling. What do you say? What is your advice to such people like yourself who stepped out of your comfort zone? That's what you did, because you could easily go and get a very good job and lots of money. You've earned it. You've worked very hard. You've sacrificed for it. You've studied. But it has not been easy, but you've kept on going.
Yeah. I'm still thinking of what I would say. It's difficult making your way. You find a way. I think that's it. No excuses. You find a way.
Yeah.
It's easy to make excuses for why it doesn't work, or why you're still down.
I think it's sometimes you reach a point where you realize the material things in life really it doesn't matter anymore, but what matters is the mark that you make, the legacy that you leave behind, you know. And so I want to thank you kindly for taking time. I know that you'll be heading back out to Canada very soon. Taking time off of your busy schedule to come sit and let's have this interview where we could talk about the dynamic work that you're doing. I want to congratulate you and wish you all the very best in the future. I'm sure that we'll have other conversations as well, an open invitation when next year in Trinidad to make sure and visit us at Real TV. And may God continue to bless you richly and may that bright light shine in your path, all right?
Thank you so much.
All the very best to you. This is where we're going to wrap things up for today. Thank you kindly for choosing us here at Real TV, where we bring reality to you. Great programming continues, don't you dare. Stick and stay with us. Ultimate in programming continues. Remember, my friends, respect the law of the land, do what is right at all times. And here's reminding you that with God, all things are possible. I am Zelisa Rupani. Thank you so much for choosing us. Stay with us. Ultimate in programming continues. See you soon.